Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Monday Morning Motivation with a not morning person yet, TianTian Gao. Thank you so much for being here with us. And she's a very creative person. So her topic for today is explore your identities under different contexts. Sounds pretty interesting, right? But before I hand over to TianTian, for everybody who's new to Monday Morning Motivation, scan the QR code if you want to join our English version, our group chat and our community. Or we also have a Chinese group chat by now. So feel free to join any of these in case you're not in our community yet. And for everybody who doesn't know what is MMM, well, we're just a community of actually nearly 3,000 people. We have now 8 WeChat groups. And yeah, I founded this 2.5 years ago. No, it's more than 2.5 years now. And we're just a bunch of great people who want to start positively in the new day and week. And yeah, just be motivated, inspired, and have the best possible start in a new day and week. If you want to become a Monday Morning Motivation member, you get access to our recordings. And also we have great discounts with our partners here, whether it's language, if you want to learn Chinese or English or translation services. We have great health products, coaching sessions. We have psychotherapists, we have visa services, and so on. Yep, and if you're looking for a nice present for Christmas, for example, we have our 365 Days of Motivation book as an ebook, as a printed version in only English and bilingual. So you can scan the QR code if you would like one. And yes, if you love what we do, end of this year, I'm going to send some donations, a few thousand. I think we have like 5,000 or so currently collected in the last few months. And if you love what MMM does, because we're volunteers, you can support us and we give 50% to the 1 Million Tree Project. So end of this month, I'll send another bunch of donations to them and I'll share it in our group chat as well. Yes, and we have great events. So, it is new that Wednesday mornings, we also have MMM happening, but all in Chinese now, because most of you speak Chinese. Why not? And yeah, you can join us this Wednesday. My reading is unfortunately not that good, so I'll let just read you by yourself. And beyond this, we have even 3 times MMM happening this week. So Thursday night, our ambassadors from MMM Hangzhou have a really cool evening event. So no matter if you're in Hangzhou or anywhere else in the world, the topic is Start 2022 Powerfully, Go Get Your Goals, by our ambassadors, Angie, Rajni, and Janika. Okay, that's enough talking from you. The next 20 minutes will be TianTian. And after this, you guys can ask her lots of questions and interact with her. TianTian, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Jenny. May I have the sharing screen section?
Oh, yes, that's a good point. Thank you.
Thank you.
I bet.
Very looking forward to all the events that are happening for Monday Morning Motivation. And also, I'm very, to be honest, I'm very honored to be here because I'm always looking forward to join. And I joined a few morning sessions like ex guest before, and finally I got the spot today. And finally I woke up for this. So thank you everyone for joining me this on time, this early morning. And I admire everyone very much for being able to enjoy this and all that. So today, sorry, was go through that. So today the topic is about explore your identities under different contexts. And I'm gonna share this because recently I find this topic quite interesting for me. And also it's a little bit learning from my recent project, the Open Kitchen Talk, which I'm gonna share a bit more later. So about myself, my name is TianTian. I'm still exploring all my identities. So many people will say, oh, she's a storyteller girl. So I'm the storyteller, creative storyteller on social media. So because I help brands, like some foreign brands coming to the China market and help them create content on social media. And also I have entrepreneurial mindset, which means every day during the day, I keep looking for problems and thinking about how to solve them. That's what I call like entrepreneur mindset. And also I have an artistic lifestyle, which means I'm open-minded. I'm like open to possibilities and challenges. And also during the weekend, I'm a life coach, help people through the conversations through powerful questioning. And before I enter all the things I'm going to share, I would like to ask all of you, if you like, can type your answers in the box, like why should we explore different identities, or what made you interested to join us today for this topic? What's the reason that pulling you into this category and start thinking this question? I'd like to see your answers, and then later we can discuss more about that. So a little bit sharing or thoughts from me, from all those observations I have towards the directions, towards the future, and also the people around me. I realized compared to the previous generation, to our generation or the future generation, it's no longer one life and only one career path. And it's no longer one job and only one income path, only one income stream. And it's also no longer one skill that you can make a living forever. And from that, I learned that we need to start flowing, to learn, to adjust, to adapt faster. And here, the flowing, I didn't mean the state of mind that, oh, have your flow. But now what I mean is the wise Chinese man Lao Tzu said once, like, we need to be like water and be in different shape. And we can start flowing instead of stuck in one fixed box or one fixed thing. Then doing or depend on the future situation, depend on whatever the environment needs, that you can become like you can flow into the different shapes that it needs, depend on that situation. And we become water that adjust and adapt ourselves into new challenges, into like new thing, because of now like the world is so uncertain, the environment or the people around you or all kind of company situation, everything is so uncertain. So we need to start flowing. And the future I believe in, as everything shifts so fast, information explodes, that we can learn everything fast, and machine is taking over all the jobs. So what left for us, what I believe in, is we will need to connect in a more creative way and solve problem faster. And to do so, as I mentioned, I'm entrepreneurial and I'm always thinking about the problems, and I'm also always thinking about how to solve it. And how do we be able to connect in a more creative way and solve problem faster, is start exploring your different identities and start flowing. So in the future, when there's a shape that you never seen before, but you can start like exploding and exploring different ways that you can fit in that situation. And start all those journey by exploring your identity, which is the topic I'm sharing about today. So first check-in for everyone today is, are you stuck in your identity right now? Recently, when I was doing a project, I met a situation is when me and teammate is working on some project together and solving some problems. And I heard it saying that, hey, TianTian, you are the marketing person, so you tell me what to do. And that moment, I was surprised, because in that moment, the identity that person was using was used as a box to limit that person, instead of opening up to all possibilities that even you are not a marketing person, you could think about from the marketing perspective. You can think as all the marketing problems, that how can you solve it. You don't need to limit yourself because the identity you put, oh, I'm this person, so I don't do that. How about we open up for all the possibilities and think about, oh yeah, I can be this. I can have marketing mindset. I can have entrepreneur mindset. I can have leadership mindset, and start embracing all the possibilities into yourself. So checking in whether you are starting your identity now by, are you using some sentences that put those framing in you as self-limiting? Is, oh, I am a teacher, so I can't lead a project because I'm not a project leader. I know how to manage project, but I don't know how to manage people. Or I am shy, so that's something I won't do. So you are pushing all those things that will be great learning opportunities for you, but you're pushing them all away. So while we realize what you stuck, whether you're stuck in that identity, so what can we do to avoid being stuck? Just simply by planting the seeds, by asking all those questions in your mind daily or weekly, like self-reflection. So what else or who else can you be or do you want to be? And how do you know whether you want to be that? And how can you start being? By bringing up all the curiosity you have outside all the identities that you already put for yourself, and start exploring other potential things. So as I mentioned, then we can be like water. Whatever it needs in the future, or whoever we meet in the future, we can flow into that shape that better to connect within that project or with that person. So I'm always thinking about all the solutions, and these are the few steps that I explored myself and tried myself, and I find it works along the journey of how I explore different identities. Is the first step, start searching who you want to be through all the people, the books, the videos, the social media content, and through the community, the people in the community, like what other people's identities are, and what kind of identities interest you, and they make you excited, that you curious, how does it feel to be like that identity or that person. And second step is sincerely listening and asking the right questions. So it helps us to better understand the different identities and maybe their pros and cons. So whenever I meet someone that I'm interested, like interesting either like their job or their role, and I will ask them all the questions like, oh, how does it feel to be like that? What are you doing every day? What are you worrying about every day? What's the problem are you solving every day? So I throw all those questions, and that's a quick way to help you kind of have a feel like whether you want to step into that identity, whether you want to bring some parts of the identity onto you. And the third is follow your intuition, because once you connect with some sort of identity that you feel so connect with your like inner value or something, then bring it closer and follow the intuition. And the majority of the emotions need to be positive. So you know that that's the right category that you want to attract or you want to have in you. And then is start thinking as this role, what kind of skill set this role has, and how do you better get into that role and all the problems that role is solving. So help you a better feel of what does it feel to have that identity in you. And the last step is to enhance all the skills under that different identities. So this is the basic steps that you can follow if you want to start like exploring other potentials of your like possibilities of identity. And a little bit like example of myself is that time I was very curious about coaching and how does it feel to be a life coach. And then when I was start like searching, I connect with many coach friends, and I was so curious about, oh wow, what are you guys actually doing? Like how are you able to help people like change their lives or have actions to make their life better through conversations, through question. I was very curious. So I start interview the coach around me that time, asking the questions and listening their sharing about what they're doing and why they enjoy it. And I followed my intuition. I really love it. So I did a little bit experiment. Is I since the COVID time, I start opening up my weekend for any strangers to call me 1 hour to share about anything and to talk to me and have that conversation flow. And then I have all kinds of guests from all different places around the world and call me up and then share like some sort of story or sort of like complain or any kind of thing. And I realized I love that. I love the feeling of connecting people through conversations and be inspiring and empowering and to help them solve some sort of problems by helping them better understand themselves or better understand the situation. So once I start thinking as this role that time, I start taking on more courses about like life coaching, and then I try my best to enhance my diverse skills. So now at the weekend, I'm a life coach helping different people with all those problems. And this, I won't say I am like a full like a life coach right now, but life coach already become part of my identity. That if I want to use it, it can come out at any time. But that identity doesn't define who I am. It's part of me, it's inside me, and I have the skills that I need if I want to use that identity. So, and also a little bit fun projects that I'm doing recently based on the purpose that I want to keep exploring more about identity is the series or the projects I'm doing recently, which is called the Open Kitchen Talk. It's pretty simple. How does it work? I invite my friends in my WeChat who I am friends with, but maybe never talk to really or really know. And I invite in my moments that you can bring ingredients and come to cook in my kitchen. And afterwards, we will have a conversation and to talk about anything. I suck at cooking, but I'm good at conversations. That's kind of my slogan. And this is fun projects. Once I shared in my moments, many people say, "Oh, TianTian, this is such a great idea and want to join." And now I even already have a branch in Hangzhou, which a friend of mine had a cooler version than me. Is he has like all the 3D printing stuff, and welcome to join if you guys interested. So how did I come up with this project and what does it do? Let me say a bit more. How did I come up with this idea? So based on the different identities I have as a social media content creator, I love stories because everyone sharing their story made me know what they are interested in or what they care about. And when I understand better about people, you guys are my audience. You know, all my social media content, all the work is out there online. You read it, and if I know better, understand about what people care about, then I create better social media content that's engaging and that's educating, or all those powerful ways that help benefit me. And also, as a life coach, I like helping people to get a clear understanding of themselves. As an entrepreneur, I'm always collecting pain points of people. And I believe it's the way that all the amazing ideas, how they then come from, is we start listening to people around us, what's the problems they have, and think about how do we combine different things, different ways, a solution to solve those problems. And also, as a single child generation, I really don't know how to cook. And I really want to learn it, but also it's a hard way when Element is so convenient that we can just order like my right away. So I want to, through some sort of projects, to combine all that three identities I have, and also along the way practice my cooking skills and enhance my other skills like listening, questioning, and connecting. So I had this idea jump out right away, and I realized this project is also a great opportunity for me to explore different identities by welcoming guests, like sometimes it's this total stranger to my home, and without filter, embracing all the stories that they are sharing with me, and start thinking in their role. What are they talking about? What are they trying to tell me? And how does it feel to be under their identity? And start collecting the different identities that I want. It's like a collection library for me, like all the identities library. And along the life journey, we are collecting all identities. And And then once they're needed, I pull up one identity and use in this situation. And in another chance, I need another identity. So I start using this identity. But along the way, we are kind of collecting, all the identities that we want or we want to be at some certain point. So after I came up with this idea for this project, I make a poster sharing my moment, talk to friends, confirm the date, and enjoy the cooking night. And along the way, I was asking for all the feedbacks. So I'm improving the user journey along the way, thinking, does it make it better? How does it make all the projects better? This is also how, if you guys want to create some small projects along the way, it doesn't need to take that many efforts, but just make a poster, share it to your friends, and then doing it. And improve along the way. You don't need to wait for, I'm not ready yet, but just do it. And then if anyone have any feedback at the first time, then do it a second time with that feedback. So some pictures that I'm sharing of all my guests and all those food that we made along that time. So many smiles, so many great conversations we had. And then within the cooking time, I'm able to get rid of my, I'm afraid of cooking, but after this few sessions, like it's been 2 months right now, I'm able to make some food myself as well, because all those guests are so welcoming and so teach me step by step how to do it. But also along the way, I got to hear so many amazing stories from different backgrounds with different culture food, and all those people, I'm surprised till now. I realized, wow, this is such an interesting project that I'm just inviting strangers, but then turn out we built a closer connections than if you meet that person in other settings. And all those people attract to this project are people who enjoy cooking, who enjoy their life, and who enjoy living. And they come to my place with a story in their mind that they want to share. And it's those stories that they might not sharing with a friend that know them very well, but they will share to a stranger like me, because I'm listening without judgment. And also I'm asking a lot of questions because I'm really curious about their identity. Who do they think they are? What are they doing? What problems are they having? So I was asking a lot of questions. So it was a great time I had. And on the outside, everyone say, oh, the food, it looks great, I want to join. But on the deep inside, the things I was actually doing secretly under this open kitchen project is I was exploring the identities of people and also all the possibilities I can have. Is I was searching all those people, what are they, what's their identity? I was listening and asking a lot of questions, and I was following my intuition. Some people we connect right away, I see so many parts that I admire about that guest. I see so many things that they were doing that I'm interested in, and I put myself in their role and start enhancing the skills that they have. So actually, many guests, after they attended my open kitchen talk, we hang out more, after either have a coffee together or dinner together, or we are also hosting some events and projects together, because through that open kitchen conversation, they understand me, they know me, and they trust me, and they like me. That's a great chance in a close, more intimate setting to help two people understand each other and helping each other build up our potential identities. So what did I learn from that? A little bit sharing from that is people have stories as long as you ask the right question with sincere curiosity. And people love to connect as long as you are listening with respect and an open mind. And last, people love to share their knowledge and resources as long as you step out of your own identity. What do I mean by that? If you put yourself in a box that I am this and I'm not any of that, then people will feel, then how do I help you if you are limit yourself in that? But if you are open up to all kinds of shape, and people are happy to be there to help you connect to the different identities that you want to become or you want to go. And they are willing to share all those skills that you need to know. And you don't need to put yourself as, oh, so do I need to be that to have that skill? No, you don't. You can just collect all the skills you have and then switch into any identities that you want in that situation you need. So after this sharing, some brain exercise that I prepared for you is start thinking, what identity do you want to explore and how can you do it? Is there any like small projects that you can create in your daily life or in the week that you do that help you to explore that identity that you're curious about? Maybe it's joining an event, maybe it's hosting some workshop, maybe it's like talk to a stranger on the street, pretend you're someone else, or maybe like going to different networking events and introduce yourself as different person. Would be fun, right? And please share with me if you are exploring so in the future. Please share with me all my learnings. I feel we grow, we learn from each other. And 3 things that I would like to give for takeaway is the first one is so cliche, but it's so important, is get out of your comfort zone and stand in other people's shoes. That's how you avoid being stuck in your own identity and start having the curiosity to become much more than what you think you are. And the second step is you can believe yourself that you can design your identity and you can practice on it. That you don't need to stuck in some certain things, but you can be so many things and practice the skills from now on. So you can flow like water into different shape in the future if there's challenge. And the third point is can create some small projects like the open kitchen talk or like the mentor session or all those kind of small things to add some fun, but learning along the way in your daily routine to make it more interesting, right? I'm doing the open kitchen talk. It's basically just coming back home, open the door for the guest and start the conversation. It's super easy for me. It doesn't cost anything, but I enjoyed a great meal, a great conversation, and I learned so much from it. So please, if you have or tried anything like in the future, share with me. I would love to hear what kind of identities that you explore in the future and what do you learn from it. Any small projects, welcome to share. Yeah, and that's all for my sharing today. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Kieran was already saying I like the idea. I will surely try. I love it. I see that your pullover fits perfectly to your last slide, TianTian. The same color, right? Okay. Yeah. I definitely got inspired. So guys, it's now up to you. Who would like to ask some questions or maybe share the ideas or answer the questions that TianTian asked us now? Oh, by the way, you guys are welcoming to open the branch of Open Kitchen Talk. And welcome to have a conversation with me of how to do it and also what to like know about, because yeah, like take the idea if you like it and do it yourself. You'll learn so much from it. Yeah. It's interesting that you say this. So when I lived in Finland, in Helsinki, there were a lot of, I think, Facebook groups, and people basically invited to their homes. And then they would say, hey, I have like space for 6 people or 8 people. And then everybody in that group that decided to join would be responsible for one part of the dish. Then they would maybe have 3 or 5 dishes at the end, or like a 5 or 3 course menu. And that's how I remember when I was new in Helsinki, I always wanted to do that. And some people really got to know some really good new friends through this, especially when you're new in town. And then in Germany, we even had some more organization, like a officially organized website where people could really like sign up, and all over Germany, they could do this. Oh, I think we have a question here. How did you become a life coach starting from the course? Oh, we have so many questions now. 212121.
Okay, so how do I become a life coach? Well, that's a long journey. And then I feel like it's starting from the project I was mentioning that I was welcoming strangers call over the weekend. And I did that for about, I think, 8 months, that I realized I do enjoy helping people through conversations. And then I took the online courses. Actually, many of my classmates are here as well. And then we did all the learnings about, like, I did the NLP course as well, and I did the life coaching like certificate as well for I think it's half a year of online courses that every Tuesday and Thursday we join in the courses. And actually, thank you, Jenny. I was joining your event that time and hearing about the NLP, and that's how I started like seriously taking the courses. So after all the months of learning and practicing and connecting with all the coaching friends, how I got to now like become a life coach as well.
I'm
Yeah,
happy that I could inspire.
thank you.
Okay, so we have Nanyang. What was your job before you became an entrepreneur? And what was the moment you decided to make a change and why?
Great question. I would say once I embrace the concept that entrepreneur is a mindset you can have, as I mentioned, like the identity, I was never feeling I'm not an entrepreneur. Like whenever like the job I do, I always think as an entrepreneur is what's the problem? How do I solve it? Like that mindset, if I consider that as entrepreneurial, then I have that like a long time ago when I was little or somehow. And the job I was doing, I was helping a French coding bootcamp and running their social media account as like a content creator. But that time, I admire my leaders so much. Like my boss that time, he gave me so much freedom that he made me feel like I'm starting my own business in that company somehow, because he would encourage me to learn new skills and give me the support and resources I need. And he doesn't require me to go to work. So basically, I finish the task every week, and then alongside, I take on a lot of freelance gigs that time. And for me, like even when I was doing my first job, I feel like I'm already operating like a leader or like a boss, like a project manager, like here, there. So it was what made me decide to quit my job and like seriously step into the entrepreneur style lifestyle. I would say is the moment I realized I can do it like on my own, that I feel there's so many things I can do if I start like having a bigger team working for me as well, or collaborate with different like talents. And that moment I think, yeah, it's time. If I can do it, why not? And I don't need to, although I don't need to go to work before, but like I enjoy more like the free lifestyle I get to have. Like every day I can arrange my time according to my preference. Oh my God, love it. Yeah. Hope that answered the question.
Awesome. Next one. Kieran says, thanks for the lovely session. He loved it. Daniel's asking what to do when a person says you copy them. Example, I never used to read in the mornings, but a friend did that. So I started reading in the mornings and he accused me of copying him.
Oh, that's interesting. I would say that's a habit. It's just like running, right? I run, you run. If it's a healthy habit, then we can try it, you can try it. And it's an interesting question because I wonder how, like Daniel, how your friends was saying that, because that would be very interesting if I run every day and I recommend my friends to run every day also. Say, hey, try it, it's so good. And I would like to empower my friends or like bring them the good habits they have. And if I'm doing something that I think is beneficial, if my friends do it, I would feel glad that my friends enjoy it as well, instead of saying you copy me. So that's an interesting way of thinking your friends has, I would say. And towards Daniel, I would say don't need to care about that. That's a habit. If you enjoy, just keep doing it. If you don't enjoy, change into something else. But always bring all the good habits that you think is good for yourself. So yeah, so no need to care too much about how your friend's saying for that. If it's a very generous, very empowering friend, I think that person will be so happy to hear that you also start reading in the morning. That's a great habit to have, right? Yeah. And also here, Jin
Right.
asked,
You mentioned about asking the right questions. What are some of the right questions? Ooh, that's a powerful question.
yeah, that's a great question. So there's many definitions. This is actually a great question. So I didn't know into my own practice of asking questions. How did I practice asking questions? Is every time I go to an event, hear some speakers talking or some sharings, I ask myself to must prepare a question or 3 questions to ask to the speaker. So I explored and experiment with different questions, and I was always recommending open-end questions like, what do you think? How did you do it? Why is that? Like all the foundational questions, actually open-end question brings more ways of saying, what's a bad question example is you are putting your judgment or your assumption into that question, and you leave the person who is answered that question only as yes or no, or I don't know, like all those things. So I would say open-ended question, the questions that give more possibilities, and also the questions that can get people to share without any afraid or like holding back. That would be a good questions. And I mean, there's no like a certain definition of it, but my suggestion would be start trying to ask even the same person different questions and to see how their reactions. And you will also have a feel of what questions get more conversations and more interesting conversations for you as well.
Hello, can I ask a question? In the social media as a girl, and I want to explore in how to say word, but I don't do so good in copy with. Just like you have parents to learning how to say French or Hebrew, I use how to say use English to study German, but sometimes you copy the accent to copy German. I met so many difficulties just like to copy or how to say imitate like French. Sometimes they think my French so bad, they turn back to me. I met this cultural barrier or cultural shocks. How do you deal with it? Sometimes I think Li Ziqi do so well in social media, even though I met lots of problems in tech world. I don't know how to programming, but next time you deal with these cultural shocks or cultural barrier or cultural barriers, how do you deal with it? Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question. But sorry, I didn't learn French, even though I was working for the French company, but all the people working there was like international. So people from different countries. I was mainly use English. But the problem that you mentioned about like the culture shock or different settings, different contexts, I have experienced a lot along the way for myself practicing English as well. Because at the beginning, I don't totally understand what they are talking about.
Yes.
And I also don't have a good accent, because that time all the friends around me, they are practicing like English accent or like American accent, and I was like, I'm a Chinese accent or like that. But that time I realized as the more conversation I have with people from different countries, the content matters much more than the accent of how you speak it. So I'm learning Spanish a little bit, not have the total experience of how you're trying to learn like a French or German, like those things. but remember that when you are practicing different language, the content, the thing that you are trying to say is much more important. If they laugh at you, then let them laugh at you. Doesn't matter, but it's insist on the things that you are trying to talk to them, and express yourself in the language is what matters. If like you are doing so, then you're already great. You are practicing on it and you are getting better. Anyone who laughs at you, they are not giving enough attention and care. So I won't give the same, like I will respect them, but just let them laugh, because I know I will get better in the future.
At now in the VUKA course world, in Shanghai, there are a lot of swap, how to say, exchange market. If you had one items, you can change for another items. But why one value from woman can change one value, just like technology skills from male? Now it's not so equal. When you deal with these things as an entrepreneur, how can you, how to say, to make a big impact in social media ways? Can you give me some more good ideas? Because how to say, it's so hard to express. SWAT. To change or just in the better system. I want to give you the example. Foreigner guys use one, how to say little things, one 区别针 to change one house. But as a goal, just like Li Ziqi use Chinese